Hi everyone, my name is Ral Obioha of the Law Office of Ral Obioha. I'm an immigration attorney. I am primarily based in Houston, Texas. However, I represent clients from all over the world and all over the country who are seeking to immigrate to the United States. Now, today's video is about citizenship. A lot of people, have permanent residence cards and don't see the benefit of applying for citizenship when they become, due for it or when they become eligible for it. Because, with the permanent resident green card, you can travel in and out. With the permanent residency green card, you can work. With the permanent residency green card, you can, qualify for certain federal student loans. And, it's pretty, it's comfortable. However, under the current administration in recent times, it is not the most secure status to be in. While it's the first step to acquiring, legal status in the United States, permanently, it should not be the final step. And I'll tell you for a number of reasons. First of all, you can get deported even as a green card holder or a lawful permanent resident. You definitely can get deported because, for certain crimes, if you're arrested for certain crimes, if you're convicted of certain crimes, you could permanently lose the ability to be a U.S. citizen, or you could be permanently removed from the United States and banned from the United States, even though you have a green card. So it should not be a status that you get comfortable in. It should be a status that you get as a means to get U.S. citizenship. Another thing is you can still be harassed if you are traveling on a green card. If you've been away for too long, if you've been traveling to some countries, you could actually get stopped at the airport and questioned as to that, and you could lose your permanent residency status that easily if you do certain things or are suspected of doing certain things. So there's several benefits of becoming a U.S. citizen, and in light of what is about to go down, the citizenship filing fee for the Form N-400 is about to double by end of the year or by at least 2020 or latest 2020. So if you're qualified for citizenship, you should definitely look into applying before the year ends. And so this video is meant to tell you the benefits of applying for citizenship, the benefits of acquiring citizenship, besides saving money on the legal fees that are about to almost double. You kind of get a chance to know a lot of things ahead of time to protect yourself. First of all, if you don't like what's going on in this country, if you're a U.S. citizen, you can vote. If you vote as a legal resident, you will be, permanently ineligible for being a citizen. So, but if you're a citizen, then you can vote and you actually have a say in what goes on in this country. So if you want to have a say in who leads you, want to have a say on who, and what policies are put in place, then you should become a U.S. citizen so you can have that power. Okay, so that's one benefit. Another benefit is, as I said before, being protected from deportation. You could be deported as a legal resident and for certain crimes, but as a U.S. citizen, it does not affect your citizenship. It doesn't affect your status or residency in the United States. I had a client who got his permanent residency, and had it for 10 years. And at the 10th year, he was arrested for possession of cocaine. Now, he can never, ever become a U.S. citizen. But he was eligible for citizenship as of 5 years after he got his green card and never filed. So if he had done that at the time that he was convicted, I mean, I'm not advocating for drugs or anything, but I'm just saying if that was the issue at that time, see now he can never ever vote. Now he can never ever be completely protected from deportation. He almost got deported if not for us filing for cancellation of removal, which has him here, but still on permanent residency status. All right, moving on. You could also get citizenship for your kids under 18. So if you're a U.S. citizen, then your kids born after you become a U.S. citizen or under 18 can get derivative citizenship if they qualify. But this is, something to definitely think about if you're young and looking to start a family. Because even if your kids are not born in the U.S., they could derive citizenship from you. That's if that stays in place. Now, you could also, if you're a U.S. citizen, you could also have the benefit of family reunification. That means that as a citizen, you can petition for your immediate relatives, your spouse, your future spouse, your current spouse, your kids, your parents, or your siblings. The siblings takes a long time, like 15 years at least right now, maybe like 12 to 15 years. But at least you have that opportunity. So if your siblings are still young, that's fine. They can travel back and forth while it's pending. And before you know it, it's 10 years. I mean, we're about to enter 2020. I can't believe it. It looks like I was in law school like yesterday. So, sorry, the video paused for a second. But yeah, it's something to think about, something that you can benefit from, and something to consider. The fact that you can be reunified with your family in this country if you're a U.S. citizen. Another thing is, as a U.S. citizen, you're eligible for government benefits, Medicaid, and a lot of other government benefits are exclusive only for U.S. citizens, and you won't be able to get that unless you were a U.S. citizen, no matter how long you've been a permanent resident in the United States. Another thing is you also qualify for certain exclusive government jobs, especially jobs that require high level clearance, that pay a lot of money and give you a lot of stability and security. Career wise, those jobs are majorly exclusive to U.S. citizens, and the benefit of being a U.S. citizen. Last but not least, you have freedom to travel, and you can travel back and forth. Nobody's going to question you as to how long you've been away. Nobody can question you if you decide to stay out of the country for 10 years. Nobody's going to question you as to that. But if you're a legal permanent resident, you have to continue to maintain the residency by staying in the U.S. at least 6 months out of every year, and not overstay on any single trip over 6 months, because it's going to be an issue for you later on if you do so. There's a way around that if you get a travel permit, but that's a discussion for another day. So that's something to consider. And I'll end with this story. I have this client who applied for citizenship. He came to me, applied for citizenship, but he was a refugee. Came as a refugee. Came as a refugee and got permanent residency status. And then he, waited 7 years to get his U.S. citizenship. He applied, but it takes a year. And we were waiting for the interview, and the day before the interview, he went out with his friends to a nightclub, and they were coming back. And, he really could have looked out the way, at the stoplight, they were playing games, and you were talking to somebody on the side of the road. And that was an undercover police officer who then charges him with soliciting a prostitute, which is a good moral character offense, which is an offense that shows that you have bad moral character. So even though he was not convicted, we were able to get it dismissed. It's the fact that he was charged with it. Now his entire citizenship application was affected, and we had to withdraw it, and we have to wait another 4 years to reapply. So the earlier you do it, the better. I'm going to end with this story because this is one of the most profound stories of my career as to why the earlier you get a citizenship, the better for you. I have this client who came to me after, she's been a legal permanent resident for like 13 years. And finally she was looking to get married. And but when she got it, she was like 20 or something, and she got it from her mom. And she was looking to get married and went file for her husband, and found that it was easier. Oh my God, that's another benefit. It's easier for you, it's faster to apply for your spouse and immediate relatives if you're a U.S. citizen than if you were a legal permanent resident. But anyway, back to my story. So she found it out and decided to become a U.S. citizen. But when she applied on her own, she got denied because they said that back in the day, when she got her green card, the officer made a mistake and didn't take a fee that they were supposed to take. Now, you would think that if the government makes a mistake by not collecting a fee from you, that, it should be their fault and they shouldn't penalize you for it. But that's not the way. There are a lot of cases right now for green cards that were issued. It's a long story, but under 245I, which under the INA, if you are applying under that to adjust your status, you're supposed to pay a $1,000 fee. There's an officer back in the day that just did not take the fee. He never asked for it. And if he didn't have an attorney that actually offered it to the officer never took it. and then you're given a green card and you're living your life like nothing happened, and then you decide to file for citizenship all this time later on, and then find out that your green card was issued in error. Now time has passed, so they're not able to take the green card from her, but they're apparently barred her from getting a citizenship. Now she hired me, we did the appeal, and it just wasn't, it just did not work. There's another option that she can pursue. We're working on that right now, but it's widespread. There's so many cases like that. But this is one lesson to learn here, is that if she had an attorney from the beginning, this mistake would never have been made. That's number one. Number two is, if she had applied for citizenship earlier, she would have found out earlier, and she would have had all this time to pursue alternative remedies, and probably not doing it under this current political climate, which is just adverse to immigrants to begin with. So that's something that is so scary to me. It's something that I just, it's so frustrating, because it's not her fault. If you go to the store and you go to buy 3 pieces of peas and they give you 4 instead of 3, you think, oh my God, that person is so generous, and you leave. Most people will, not knowing that that 1 piece is going to cost you something later on. So this video is so long, but I hope that I've been able to relate to you the benefits of getting U.S. citizenship, applying while you can. Don't wait until later, because there's so much to learn, so many benefits to gain from being a U.S. citizen, and the liberty that comes with it is incredible. So if you know a family member, or you qualify for citizenship, you should apply as soon as possible. Also, because the fees are also increasing. So I hope this has been helpful to you, or a family friend, or a family member. All the best to you. Again, my name is Ral Obioha, and I am an immigration attorney. You can reach my office at 832-569-1110. You can follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Ral Obioha. Thank you, and have a great day.